with an actual check inside of it, and you have the information, their information on it, you'll get tons of response. Now, what I do on these kind of mailings, I have the check inside. In this corner, I write handwrite check enclosed. Most people say, well, if I say check enclosed, the mailman may not deliver it and all of that. That's not true. Mail people are one of the most honest people that you can find. Not all of them, because one of them was caught in Atlanta dumping the whole tray of trash in the trash can. But they go through a lot to get that job, and they have a very high standards for hiring those people, so they may not even care about this. And I don't think if we have ever lost any check or any mail out because of them. So the actual check actually says their name, their information. It's a printed check with your information on it, and then their name, the actual address of the property where you're buying it from. And instead of the address, it has instead of the signature, it has just you draw a line so no one can cash that check. The other thing you should do, that you can do for a $1,000 check, you don't want people to go and deposit the check in your account and draw $1,000. One thing I have done, I open an account, put $100 in there, and open a free account, print 1,000 or 2,000 checks, and then leave it there. And when you're sending out the check, in the back of it, I always stamp it. This check will be replaced with an actual check once and if your property qualifies for it. So you're not obligated to actually give everyone who call you a check for $1,000, right? And most people call because of that. Some people get offended. Here's what I had out of one person. Thank you, but no thank you, because this was in pre-foreclosure, and they sent me this check back in an envelope, then shred in pieces. I don't need your check. Like, I'm trying to help, So. I actually had 8 or 10 of those checks that I really want to show you, but I can't find it, so I guess I'm going to move on. That's step number 2. Because when you're sending out mail to someone who's in pre-foreclosure, what do they really need? Money, right? So if they need money and you send them a check for $1,000, would that get their attention?
Yeah.
Would that set you apart from the rest of the people?
Yeah.
So step number 2, I always send them something like this, an aspirin. Aspirin. And this is one that I have, that I ordered with my information on it, printed, and it's a little painkiller, aspirin, pain reliever. So when you're sending out a letter with that kind of headache, foreclosure headache with a question mark, now you can get immediate relief. What does that do? It's just you're talking about the pain that they are sharing, that they are experiencing right now, right? You're actually talking to them about their personal situation. Anytime you write a copy, anytime you write something, a sales letter, you have to know who your market is, and then you write it according to what they are experiencing, what they want, what they really don't want, and of course you offer a solution to that. And this, we're sending them a painkiller because they are, experiencing headache, or they're experiencing foreclosure headache. Definitely a solution to their problem. Next thing I have done, I have sent them that lifesaver. That little lifesaver. Again, every letter that I sent, what I sent with the letter has everything to do with the headline. Like, we can save you from foreclosures. What is a lifesaver used for? Save someone's life, right? So, solving your foreclosure puzzle is simple. Basically, that's what we, and then the copy is 3 pages. But if you don't get their attention within the first 20 to 30 seconds of them reading your letter, is going in a garbage can. So might as well, if you're doing all this work, make sure you're sending them the right message. Because if you send a letter like this to someone, to an out-of-state owner that's not in foreclosure, that's not hurting, that's not in bankruptcy, it may not help at all. It may like, okay, well, you send it to the wrong person, goes in a garbage can, and you spend all this money for no reason. So you got to pay attention. Your message to your market is very, very important. Yes?
And just the fact that you've got something in that envelope, your open rate will skyrocket.
Definitely.
They can't throw it in the trash can not knowing what that little lump in that envelope was.
That's exactly what it's called, lumpy mail. And people who have things in there, it's called freemium and premiums also. So you're sending a lumpy mail with things inside of it, and the minute they feel something is inside that envelope, they'll open it. When they are, doing that over a trash can, they feel your letter and they feel something is inside. It's on the side rather than in the trash can. Because people are people. Doesn't matter what kind of situation they are in, right? And you and I will not go over and read something that's exactly like what we have seen for the last 10 years. What's the point? I mean, I have seen that over and over and over. But when I see something new, when I feel something like, okay, inside the envelope there's something that also people are curious, right? So they want to open it. At least they want to see what's inside that envelope. Yes?
Is it being sent to personal or business?
I don't send to businesses that much.
No, I mean, like, are you under personal, or is it being sent to business?
Oh, my information?
When you send the
Depending on your market. If you're sending it...
personal market, send them the letter, would it be more so from a personal perspective or from a business?
Your letter got to be, doesn't matter if it's... the message got to be somewhat personal to their information. Now, my information, when they call me, I have used my company name all the time. As far as your envelopes, you may not want to use your company name right from beginning, because all my envelopes in the back has Rock Shakur on it. You don't want to make it look business so they can open it. And at the end of it, where, on your PS or at the end of the letter, oh, by the way, I received another letter at the end of it with no thank you. I sent him a letter, and he went through all this thing to send my own letter back to me. Like, I need to read it with a big no thank you on it. At the end of each letter, I gave him more than 5 ways to contact me. That's important for most of you who use your, bless you, for most of you who use only one way to contact you, and that's a number. If they cannot contact you via your phone number, you just lost the deal. So in my case, I use a phone number, I use a mailing address, I use a fax number, email, and my website. And for fax, I have this sheet, basically want their information on it so they can fill it up and send it through the machine. My fax number is there already. So keep that in mind when you're doing any kind of mail out. Give them more than one way to contact you.
Just if you don't have a business address, because I certainly don't want to put my personal address going out to the world. So just a P.O. box?
P.O. box, I would not suggest that much. I like a UPS office definitely works. They have actual physical address with a suite number on it. So that makes it look like an actual address.
Yeah, I'm just going to add to that. If you do already have a P.O. box, you can also just use the post office's address and then just put suite number and then your P.O. box number.
They used to not allow that. Now I hear that they are allowing it. So if they are allowing it, then yeah, that's fine. Like I said, they used to not allow any kind of physical addresses and then use suite number, which the UPS stores do, and that's what their business is all about. Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next one. Message in a Bottle. How many of you have seen that movie, Message in a Bottle? We have. All right, quite a few. This is plastic piece. Yeah, you have your address here, you have their address there, and you actually put actual stamp on it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I went through the checklist. Basically, that checklist is it's a one-page checklist. have you transferred your address? Have you transferred your mailing address? Have you transferred your utilities, your phone, and all of that? You make him look. You give him something that they can definitely use. At the same time, they look at it like, oh crap, I got to go through all of that. Just moving is not easy, right? And especially if you have a list of things to do, and each one of them costs money, and you don't have money, hey, it's not going to be easy at all. So I actually talk about their pain. Now you have to move, and if you have to move, you got to use your checklist here. I'll make it easier for you. But if you really want to sell your house and make some money, call me. In that way, at least I talk about their pain, and I also offer them some money so they can call me and get their attention. Message in a bottle. Of course, we talked about this. Plastic. The mail people do not like it very much, but they'll deliver it. And it's also plastic, it doesn't break, so it's not dangerous, so that's totally fine. Sand timers. You know what I hate? Not having the actual pieces, because I had them, I don't know what happened. Those are little sand timers. When there were no watches and people could not keep track of time, this is what they use, right? So we use sand timers, basically letting them know right from beginning as the headline, time is running out, I want to buy your house. One thing that you got to keep in mind, when you're selling something, it's always you're selling a home. When you're buying it, it's a house. Even though there's really not a big difference, it's still a piece of brick on a land. But that word means a lot to people when it's used differently. They don't want to sell their home because that's where they want to stay at. But they don't mind selling you their house because their feelings are detached. If it's emotionally attached, they don't want to sell it to you. And if they sell it to you, they're going to ask for a lot more than you want to pay.